I don't really have like this large-scale Hollywood dream that some actors have. And if they come, I'll answer them. But
You don't want to go to Hollywood, Michael?
no, it's not that I don't want to go to Hollywood. Yeah,
Right.
I really like not to.
I think infrastructure-wise, the industry is there. Technically, we have stuff.
It's show business. Am I doing enough of the show as well to attract the business? You know, there's so many questions that I feel like we need to ask ourselves.
IP, Nigerians, you people need to stop pirating movies. As in, it's a challenge generally. Hi, my name is Damola Ademola of Inkblot Studios.
My name is Michael Ejoor, actor, director, and you are watching the State of Nollywood Industry Table Talk
by Shock Africa.
Dear industry friends, welcome to another episode of State of Nollywood Industry Table Talk by Shock Africa. My name still remains Akintunde Damilare, and welcome to the table where we drive conversations that drive reflections, that transforms the second largest film industry in the world, Nollywood. Today, I have an interesting set of gentlemen who live and breathe in Nollywood, and I'm very excited for you to hear what they have to say. Welcome to the episode, guys. Awesome. So, first off, we have a celebrity in our midst.
Wow.
And I think my first question to Michael is, what have you been up to for this past 6 months?
Wow, what have I been up to for the past 6 months?
Yes.
Hi, your DM.
So
I hope the audio cut that.
Can we see your DM?
no, sir, I cannot say it, please.
Some of it.
It's a private stuff.
No, just flash it. How many DMs? Has there been an increase in the DMs?
My social media has been flying off the handle.
Amazing.
It's the power of a viral show, on a really big platform. It's been crazy. I'm so grateful because, I have put in a lot of work, and it's really good to see what I've seen. And because it's been a long time coming in terms of when we shot it in 2023.
Oh.
So a part of me, the excitement, seemed to have dwindled. Because I'm just like, oh, is it ever going to come out? And then now it's come out and I'm just so excited again. I don't feel like I shot it 2 years ago. It was a wonderful experience. Kemi Adetiba she's amazing. So in the past 6 months, this has taken, this feels like this has covered like the whole 6 months for me, Tika.
Amazing.
But I also recently just got inducted into GGN, Directors Guild of Nigeria.
Amazing.
And I directed 1 or 2 things, but I wanted to take it more serious, so I did more studying. I've been mentored by Bionun Stephen, Jide Blaze Oyebile, who just won an AMVCA.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of personal studying as well online. Thank God for Google and AI.
And YouTube as well. Okay.
Yes, YouTube and tutorials and everything. And I guess another thing, which would be my last, was I executive produced 2 films alongside Stella Damasus, and they are both showing Captured and The Art of Heart. So.
You have been doing a lot.
I'm sorry, I've been busy.
I have to try.
Awesome. That is great to hear from Michael. So let me come to my next gentleman. What have you been up to for the past 6 months?
Technically nothing, man. After what you just said.
I don't know, that's nothing to. I have your CV.
No, I've still done what in the last 6 months I've been chilling.
Interesting. But you've been incubating though.
No, let me see. My last 6 months has been interesting. Started learning to walk again. So injured my back, so was limping, got some numbness, some muscle weakness in my right leg. Been working out hard. Working out for the past couple of years, and I did a lift wrong and then ended up injuring my back. That related down my right leg, which led to me most of December. I was off, half of December I was off my feet. So 30 December for me was the cleanest, soberest, sparkling clean December. I was horizontal for most of that. January as well, I was whatever.
Man.
February was
that was tough.
Yeah, February was when I stopped using a walking stick for the very first time.
Wow.
And then I now tried to go back to the gym. So pretty much the first half of the year was rehab. But that rehab period also gave me the opportunity to like slow down and not do much. And you know, when you now sit down and then you're like thinking about a lot of things, ideas start to pop off, people start to, and then during that period was where we had a conversation about cover. For me, I was like, I felt like, why are we doing it? It's stressful. But then my partner Naz, as well as Kenneth, this was a conversation we were having, and then they basically said, think about it this way, think about it that way. And the more we thought about it, they're just like, you start to see it because it's a daunting task, and then you now start to see the possibilities of it, and you're like, you know what? If it's one of those things that if somebody else does it, and you're like, that idea, and then you're like, why didn't I do it? Was it because of fear? Was it because of my insecurities? Was it because yes, all of those kind of things? You're like, man, let's just go. Let's go for it. What's the worst that can happen? And that's always been my mentality with life. Like, what's the worst that can happen? So, you know. So here we are.
Awesome. I think it's also very interesting that I think this also like shows your human side. You know, where everybody was stuck. Damola of Inkblot. Everyone was stuck. Damola of Inkblot, and nobody knows that.
Nobody was.
And nobody sees like the human.
Don't talk to me. Leave me alone.
But I mean, I'm happy you made a good recovery, and you're here on this table.
Recovering is recovering. So it's a slow process, but it's also one of those things where I think what I've learned in recent times is that life doesn't have to be perfect, right? To make something of it. There are days when I remember there was a day where I went for an event and I was literally looking for a chair to sit down on. But it was like one of those cocktail events, so you're there just gisting with people and you're smiling. And I'm like, where can I find this seat just so that I can take the weight off my leg just for a bit because I'm in like a lot of pain. But you know, you smile through it, and then I eventually found a table, leaned against that table, and I was like, after a few minutes, the pain stopped and life continued. So I guess that's my. I've been learning a bunch of things about myself.
Awesome. So well done, and happy to hear you are in your good phase.
I'm back on my feet.
Yep.
And then I'm doing great things.
This is great things.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let me come back to Michael. So you know, you've been in the industry for a while. I wanted to ask you on a personal level, are you happy with the industry?
I would say yes. It's more a yes than
I was rooting for it. Like, don't say yes.
I am, I don't like saying this because sometimes people think that, oh, maybe I'm being small-minded, but I don't really have like this large-scale Hollywood dream that some actors have. And if they come, I'll answer them. But
you don't want to go to Hollywood, Michael?
No, it's not that I don't want to go to Hollywood. Yeah,
right.
I really like Nollywood. I do, and I'm being honest, and I'm not just saying it. Like I do. I like our stories. I like the cultural impact behind our stories.
Right.
I like our acting style. Actually,
interesting.
Yes, I do. Like, and if conquering Nollywood is as far as I go in life, I would not feel dissatisfied. If I never make it into a Hollywood production, because I feel like I've been watching Nollywood since I was year high, and just watching their stories, and I've seen how they've grown in every area. Right. Acting style, cinematography, lighting, costuming, storytelling, everything. How far the movies are able to go. Yes. And I think I'm more proud of the achievements that how far we've come and what we've been able to do. Right. Than I am about the things that I don't like. So which is why I had to think, because when you ask this question, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, but this one is not working. This one is not working. Right. But so look at where we were. We're nowhere near that right now.
Awesome. Damola, are you happy with the state of the industry?
From someone like me who has come from corporate Nigeria, and I really never really used to watch Nollywood like that. To now be someone who's a huge advocate of Nollywood, I'm unstable. I'm completely unstable in the sense that, irrespective of, you see, people say that comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Right.
So if you keep comparing yourself to other industries that are like 100 years ahead of you, that have infrastructure put in place by the government to help them be what they are, right? Then you would then start to say, oh, there's a problem. But if you look at where you were before and you look at where you are now, and you just simply say to yourself, improve by 1% every day. And you look at that distance, I look back at the old Nollywood movies, as much as they had like huge cultural impact, production-wise were far from that.
Far.
Story-wise were far from that. You know, that kind of thing. So you're looking at people who've taken leaps and bounds.
Right.
I remember when the first Wedding Party won.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So luckily for us, we were a part of Wedding Party 1. And I know how 4 production companies came together to put that movie together.
True.
That budget, the budget for that movie is not today, that same amount of money is a mid-level Nollywood movie.
Wow.
Is your average Nollywood movie
So
ifs,
what I'm
buts, or
hearing,
whatever.
what I'm hearing is the Wedding Party 1 budget wasn't up to 100 million.
It was not a million. Calm down now. Calm down. But if you are taking a movie to cinema and you want to create something that's truly like a blockbuster, you are looking at stuff like that, and then you are seeing people who, production-wise, value. People are talking about, production design. They're talking about cameras, equipment, your actors. Even just Netflix and Amazon being in Nigeria for the number of years they were in. I know how many people got into the industry, short movies. You saw stories expand.
Yes. Oh, yes. Genres as well.
Yes, other genres came up. Partly because, so if you look back at it, right, and you can look back at it and you're like, if you're comparing yourself to Hollywood, the thief of joy. But then if you're comparing it to where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, then it becomes a completely different conversation. We broke the box office. Wedding Party box office was 400
close to
420 million thereabouts.
Yeah, close to 450.
Thereabouts. Nothing broke it up until Omogeto. Then since that time, every December it's been broken, which means more people are going to the cinemas to watch Nollywood movies in December than ever before. So when you start to look at those things, you have a show like Tika, that basically got into the UK top 10. So on Netflix. So you now start to see stuff like that. Baby Farm showing up in top 10. So I'm at the point where, look, we're on a high. One of the biggest problems that we had before was distribution. Before, it was a case of, before the cinemas showed up, if you did a few DVDs, video CDs, a marketer will tell you, hey, this is how much I have to pay you for your movie. You collect that money, you give them the rights to the movie, they produce how many DVDs of video CDs, whatever they make. Then cinemas came. That was a different path to a return on your investment.
Yes.
After that, more cinemas came. So then there was more money to be made because more people could see your movie. Then after that, I remember our first 3 movies, we lost money on it. And we're one of the very early people to go into cinema.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
But look at it now. They're like about every weekend there is a new Nollywood movie in cinema, sometimes competing with the Hollywood movies.
Yes.
I'm happy for the industry.
Awesome. And I agree on all of those frontiers, right? It's amazing the growth that we had 10 years ago from back then to where we are right now. But I think it would also be pertinent to discuss some pressing issues as well. And pressing issues from a consumer point of view, and also pressing issues from a distribution point of view. So let me come back to Michael and ask a very interesting question as well. So what happens when an actor who has been working years and years and years doesn't get his or her TCAP, what happens to the actor?
Well, I you keep trying, If there are a few people that didn't make it till they were way older, like Oprah, Morgan Freeman, who again, like there are quite a few of them that didn't make it till they were older. They didn't get that opportunity, But at the same time, I feel that there's a saying by Shakespeare that I really like. It says, "To thine own self be true." I think we need to start having more honest conversations with yourself.
Right.
Why am I not getting it? Is it my talent? Am I delusional? Delulu is not always the Solulu. Yes. Am I delusional? Am I actually talented? Do I need to work even more?
This is the right industry for you.
Yeah. Should I be here?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
It's show business. Am I doing enough of the show as well to attract the business? There's so many questions that I feel like we need to ask ourselves. This is a very tough one because everybody wants to be the leading man. Because some of my favorite actors actually always play supporting characters.
That's interesting.
Jennifer Lewis. She plays the mom in Blackish.
Yeah.
They call her the mother of Black Hollywood. That's what they call her. Everybody knows that she's amazing, but she's always a supporting character. Think about it. She's always a supporting character. So you have to think about it. Should I be here? As opposed to looking at here. Maybe I will succeed here. She ain't begging for anybody for anything. She's doing really good. So I guess it all boils down to being true to yourself. That's how I feel.
Awesome. So which also leads me to my prelude question, what happens to an industry that doesn't get enough TCAP?
But there are so many titles that have blown people.
That's what I'm saying. So what if we don't have enough titles? Or rather, we have few or none of titles that are solid enough, get on a big platform enough, and pushes the actor to the next level of their career.
I think that's a weird way to look at it. Because when you think about it, let me give you an example.
Go for it.
Uzo Aropo has been acting for years. But we can point to Love in Every Language that blew him up as Odogo Para, which
Love
was a YouTube. Love in Every Word, sorry. And that's a YouTube movie.
Wait
now,
okay.
calm down.
Now.
The budget of that movie and the budget of TCAP, you probably will make 20, 50 of Love in Every Word from TCAP's budget. So, and that's on YouTube. There are a bunch of movies like that. So there are so many movies they don't have to be, sometimes some movies are like huge blockbusters.
Right.
Some other movies, it's based off of the platform that it's on.
Right.
Some other movies, it's just that this person put on a marvelous performance.
Right. That is, so I would like to say that I did some analytics on Love is Every Word.
Yeah.
And it's an outlier. Not every YouTube film is going to gather that much attention or that much cultural conversation. As Love in Every Word is a title that happens once in 10 years.
But Oga, did it happen or did it not happen?
It happened. So, but my question is, what happens to an industry where, imagine if Love is Every Word is happening once in 10 years, or a TCAM is happening once in 10 years?
But every year, there is at least 4 movies, and I'm being very, very conservative, that blow various actors up. I would call, if you look at a movie like, what they call it, what's the one that's...
Breath of Life?
No, not Breath of Life. You can look at Chimezemo and say that kind of like blew him up there. You can say something like, what's that one? Something Bride. Farmer's Bride. Farmer's Bride, and what that did for someone like Bubini.
Yes.
Do you get? So, and these are all movies at the rare candid Bankole. All these different movies. I mean, okay, let me throw some Inkblot movies in there. Calm down. Let me throw some Inkblot movies in there. I mean,
Far From Home.
Far From Home. All what he did for that
all
entire set
all of them, boy.
Right?
And that's the conversation. Yeah. Imagine we were having a Far From Home every
But Oga, you are having a Far From Home every year. It's a different title every time. And sometimes it's a different title in different medium every time. So sometimes it's a YouTube movie. Another time it's a movie in cinema. Another time it's something on Netflix. Another time it's something on Prime.
Yes.
So tomorrow it could be something on Cover. Thank you. What I'm just saying is, if you look at it and say, oh, 1 month away, we're in July. July. So this is the month of Tika. Before this, there was Baby Farm. Baby Farm blew someone also. Beginning of the year, there was Real Love with Timini for February.
Right.
That blew up. The female
the lady, yeah.
TJ.
So when you look at it, pretty much, if we take every month, you would pull up someone. You pull up one movie and something that blew up and someone that blew up from that movie.
I see your perspective, and
Yes,
I think I get it. You are launching a streaming platform.
And
This time last year, you had all of the access to Prime, to Netflix, to even to cinemas. Where is Inkblot with all of this access right now?
still remains. I mean, earlier this year, we released a Lagos Love Story,
Right.
which was initially available on Netflix in
Africa only.
Yeah. And then we spoke to them, and then thanks to our partnership with Prime, we basically were able to get a Lagos Love Story on Prime for the rest of the world.
Amazing.
Then a few months back, Netflix then changed it, and then a Lagos Love Story is now available globally now.
Interesting.
And everything. So we have it in both places.
Amazing.
Right? And what you see is that there is clearly a hunger for our content, partly because, they tell you that 1 in every African is Nigeria.
True.
And then no matter what country you go to, you will find one Nigerian there. And then randomly, I heard a story about some guy who went up one mountain in Nepal to go and meet with some monks, and there was one black monk amongst them. And next thing you know, was Chibuzo, what are you doing here?
All great.
So if we're everywhere and we're moving around that much, there is a strong diaspora market.
True.
Beyond that, I saw something recently that blew my mind, which was, if you guys watch streamers, there's a guy called DDG. It's a US streamer.
Okay.
And he was like he had this stuff on Instagram, and he was talking about the fact that he wants to learn Pidgin, And I just thought, oh, he wants to learn Pidgin because he wants to come to Nigeria or something. I was like, no, that anytime in his streams, he would see people start off in what he has now figured to be Pidgin, but they will start off in English, but then after like the second or third word, a bunch of other words come in and it's like, but these guys are in his comments on his streams, and he knows that they're from Nigeria, and that he wants to learn Pidgin so that he can communicate with them. So which means, thanks to our rich cousins in the Afrobeat industry, they're taking the flag forward, and that creates an opportunity where you want to know more about that culture. So after you do the music, you might do the fashion.
Right.
After you do the fashion, you can now enter the movies. So it's just one of those things where Nigerians as a culture, Nigerians as an entity, you see it on social media where you have like white people dressing up and wanting to have a Nigerian wedding.
Absolutely.
There's this TV show called something about football.
Yes.
And in that show, they had a Nigerian wedding. Nobody in that movie is Nigerian. Just randomly, there was one black guy when he came down to them being what do you call it? One of 50 Cent's shows, one of the ones based off of Power.
Oh, the spin-off.
One of the spin-offs also had a Nigerian wedding in it. So we have all of those things as cultural touch points. Our movies are just one of those cultural touch points, and it's going further and further. At some point, we also have to take control of that narrative and be the ones to say, look, let's take it out there. We might not need to rely on someone like the global streamers, because those ones are also trying to export their own culture, their own markets. Can we create something for ourselves where it gives us an opportunity where it's focused on us? I know what he's doing. I know what you are doing. I know what that person is doing. And I can say, hey, if you do it to a certain standard, to a certain whatever, we might be able to take it somewhere else in the world for them to see. And that way, that person looks at Nigeria and says, I like your content.
Awesome.
I want to see more.
Awesome. So during the launch of Carver, right? I think somebody mentioned about the LPK collective and how that was such a huge turning point for the industry.
Yep.
And then my own thinking is, why don't we have an LPK for a streaming platform?
We do. I mean, we as Inkblot are not doing it solo.
Right.
We're doing it in partnership with Film House Group.
Right.
So that's a partnership. With us, we and Film House have worked on maybe 20 odd movies together.
Right.
So partnerships are the way to go. You can't point at one person and say, it's because of you that this thing works. Yeah, you come and carry all the cameras, come and carry all the equipment, if it's just you. So that's how we view it. Is that partnerships are the things, are the only way to success. What's that crazy saying about if you want to go somewhere faster, you go with others. Something like that.
Yeah, and I must say, like, Inkblot is probably the, lack of a better term, film company who has collaborated the most. Like, you see, they're always collaborating.
Always. I agree on that point. And which brings me back to you, Michael. So from a talent perspective, again, still on distribution, right? What is sort of like in demand in terms of maybe roles or producing or projects that you've heard of right now? And where are those projects being released to based on just your own world of an actor?
YouTube.
Interesting.
Really and truly. I think because risk appetite is at an all-time low at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not everybody, like a lot of people, I don't have the power. I don't have the power to go to the cinema. I don't have because there are a lot of people who have had to go to the cinemas recently who didn't.
That wasn't their initial plan.
That wasn't your initial plan. They'd hope to sell to a streamer or, something like that. And then you go. And I remember when My Mother's a Witch was in cinemas and Yellow Day, I counted and there were 7 Nollywood films.
At the same time.
Yeah. At the same time. And 2 weeks ago, we had 4 come out on the same day.
Oh yeah, July 18th.
Yeah, they were like
we just had the producer of
that came out on the same
at the same time.
And it's that's only because these people had already spent the money before they knew that, okay, this is the only way around it. So 90 odd %, if you ask me, everybody's like, okay, let's put our films on YouTube, and then figure out what else we can do with it. Can we sell the on-air rights? Can we, do a non-exclusive deal with this platform? Or, that's the reality at the moment.
Awesome. Will Inkblot ever do a YouTube deal?
We've looked at it in the past, but we've never figured out. All our mathematics have never worked. And maybe we should just learn to count a little bit more. Maybe add our toes to it or something. But the maths has just never worked. And for me, I also believe that, as with any industry needs layers. So I now I'm going to go back and now say that I said that we shouldn't compare ourselves to Hollywood. But then let me take an example.
Because that's the only thing we can.
Calm down.
Cite your examples.
Let me just cite the small example. Right. So Hollywood, right? You've got like your blockbusters. So what would be like a big studio movie, your Fantastic Four, your
Superman,
yes, all the Marvel, DC, Marvel,
superhero,
Mission Impossible, them. So those ones are like your top tier. Then you've got like your second tier, which are not at that blockbuster level, but they can do something. So I'll give you an example.
Right.
John Wick 1 was not a huge blockbuster movie, but because it did so well, all the other sequels to John Wick 1 then became blockbusters, right?
Right.
But John Wick 1 was just like, that's like a hit. So that's a lower level, right? Then you've got like your art house movies that are now another level. Those ones will go to festivals. Something will try
to bring them to cinema if possible, so you can win an award, but it's purely for artistic purposes. It's not really a commercial movie in that sense.
Right. There's an argument to that, but go ahead.
Yeah, wait now. Then below that, you then now have your sometimes what we call a TV movie.
Right.
So if you know the Hallmark Channel,
yes,
those kind of movies where they
yes.
churn those movies out. Those movies are on a much smaller budget,
Yes.
and they are made for TV. It's an easy watch. That's it, right? So when you then now look at it on that level, the goal of the Hallmark movie and the goal of the blockbuster are two different things. The amount of money you can spend on them are also different. The stars,
the faces
that you see are also different. So when you break it down that way, now one star can now do something really good in Hallmark, and as a result of that, get casted in something else. Or it might be the other way around. You've been such a regular face on some of these blockbusters. You were never the lead, but you were like supporting.
Right.
And then your face is notable enough where now they can now hire you on the Hallmark side and give you like a 5-picture deal so that you're now maybe the lead in this one or the parent in this one. And then they're using that as when people are thinking about that movie, your face shows up on the poster because you're a recognizable face. So it makes people watch the Hallmark movie.
Right.
So in that sense, if you compare that to our industry, we need those layers, and those layers have to be profitable. So that then it gives room for more people to come into the industry. It also gives people an opportunity for them to cut their teeth. So if you're in YouTube, acting is one of those things that I believe that you need time. You need to put in your 10,000 hours, right? So which means you have to have done multiple roles, tried different things. So YouTube might be a great place to do that, where in a short period of time, you've acted in so many movies where that has now built up your acting chops. Then we can now put you in one movie, then your acting chops now start to show through. You're not as green anymore. Then all of a sudden, that person can now get promoted through the ranks to now end up being a blockbuster.
Amazing.
That's how I view it.
Awesome.
So everything has a space.
Awesome. All right. So now I think this is a very good time to move into the grading pillars.
5.
Damola Ademola, drop this card.
I saw it coming.
Drop this card.
5.
Drop this card.
5.
So right about now, we're going to ask our guests to pick a card on the table. How many years have you spent in the industry, by the way?
Who's our daddy?
I think we said Inkblot 2012. We produced our first movie 2014.
Amazing.
So 12 years.
12 years. 7. So we have 12 years on the table and we have 7 years on the table. And they're going to tell us how they grade the industry based on those 5 key pillars. Damola, drop that card down. How they grade the industry on these certain pillars. Number 1 pillar is, how do you rate the industry in terms of infrastructure and production capacity? So in terms of quality of post-production facilities, number of companies and production houses that we have in this industry, as well as studios and technical resources. Well, that's your question.
That's my question. It's 5. 5.
Why do you say 5?
5. Because it's 5.
I drop the card.
For the size of the industry, for where the industry is at right now, and with the level of investment in the industry, I think people have really invested so much to be able to deliver work. And I'll give you this. When we're doing Far From Home, one of the stipulations that, the streamers will give you a text spec sheet. Oh, these are the kinds of cameras you should use, blah, 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 blah. And then they were like, oh, the RE mini LF or something. And then we're like, okay. So we reached out to Clinks. Clinks said, that I have it. It's coming when do you need it? It's coming in a few weeks.
No way.
And this is like, in that list, that was like the newest camera on the whatever.
Latest spec.
And then you were like, yeah, we have it, we can get it. And everyone is like, what, you guys have it in Nigeria? Netflix was like, you guys have it in Nigeria. Yeah.
And that's a good thing, right?
So it's one of those things. There are
Sojo Gunaike, that's Russian tap. He's got this amazing sound stage. So you can go in there, build your sets, fully AC'd. We shot the beginning of Palava there. So that concert that was meant to look like that looked as if we shot in Echo Hotel.
Was that one you're a director?
No, calm down. I won't dream it to take on that amount of budget and spend. I took the small movie, small budget.
No, there was one. I just remember that was the one with Nancy Sime where you're a fake director.
Oh yeah.
So it's not that's
that was
Palava.
Super
Palava was
no.
me and
Palava was the RMD one.
RMD one,
was
yes,
singing.
yes,
The concert at the beginning that was shot in Soji Studio.
Amazing.
Full sound stage. We're there all day.
Okay.
Nobody wanted to go home because the AC was blowing. It was soundproof. Nobody was sweating. You know. So there are, and that's not the only sound stage. Ultima has. So you've got a bunch of things. I think infrastructure-wise, the industry is there. Technically, we have stuff. I think, as always, one of the biggest challenges is one of the things we need to fix.
Right.
One of the things that not we need to fix is one of the things that the industry is fixing at the moment. Is a situation where the more outlets you have for your content, and the more money you can make off of those outlets, more people will put money in. So let me put it like this. Funke Akindele right now has been able to show she's done 600 million, 800 million, 1 billion, 1 point something billion, pretty much every December. Because of that, right, Funke Akindele can basically say, I want to spend 300, 500, 700. I'm not saying, I'm just joking. She can put a huge amount of money into her productions,
right?
Because she knows she will make the money back. But like you said earlier on, because people are worried about ROI, it's easier for them to say, you know what, let me just spend this small money, let me take it to YouTube and know that at least all my bypass, or I can mitigate my losses if need be.
Yes.
Right. So when the streamers came on board and they were licensing content, licensing for 150, 100k, 200k,
right,
more people were willing to take the risk with the money. So this is the crazy thing. Hollywood, an average Hollywood movie has about 60 ways that they can monetize that movie. And that movie, 2-3 years down the line, is still making good money.
Yes.
So if you are to switch on Showmax or Africa Magic today and you see Fast and Furious 1, which was made 20 years ago? Africa Magic or Multichoice has paid to license that 20-year-old film.
Right.
So we are just starting. We're trying to build that audience that people still want to see our stuff.
Right.
5 years, 4 years down the line.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much, Damola.
So five. We're trying for where we are.
Michael, in terms of talent pool and creative development, what do you grade? So it means availability and training of actors, writers, directors, cinematographers, access to acting schools and film schools, as well as support for screenwriting and storytelling culture. How would you grade that pillar of the industry?
4.
That's a high mark. Why 4?
4 because there are more acting schools now. There's Ebony Live, Del York, that the Masters just started one, which launches this week, and Actors Playhouse.
Nice.
Don't do Joker Silver one.
Oh yes, I've forgotten that one. Lufudo. Yes. So there's access.
But is that enough?
No, that's why it's a 4. Because I feel like there should be more. Because a lot of because especially the last thing that you said, you spoke about writers. I think it's only Ebony Life that caters to writers. I think everybody else is acting. I don't know.
I don't think, but we do have screenwriting workshops. I even think Del York is more of design and PR and advertising.
I feel so with the whole looking at this holistically.
Yes.
I don't feel like there's
enough,
but there are options.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. Funding and investments. How do you rate the grade industry in terms of access to public and private funding, presence of grants, tax incentives, and co-production agreements, as well as investor confidence and risk of appetite?
So,
Okay, fine. Since you've taken the 4.5. 4.5. And I would say this.
So you're saying there's more local and private funding than ever right now. 4 is a very high mark, Damola.
Yes.
I can go outside my street and get funding the next door.
So wait, my
Or how do you see it?
Calm down now. So again, would you say the US has a lot of funding for their films?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. So do we.
No.
For what we are producing. For what wait, calm down. So this is the scenario.
Private and public.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Private, yes. BOI is doing stuff.
Mhm.
Right, if you want. BOI is doing stuff. There are a lot of private investors who are also out there. And one of the things that has happened was that the streaming platforms basically opened the world up. So something like TCAM now, you see TCAM, you see a Lagos Love Story, you see Far From Home, you see all of these things, and people are seeing that and they're seeing how people are receiving it across the world. And then they also believe that, there is money to be made.
Great.
So I know people who raised money during that era who basically used that to fund the film productions that were able to now get it licensed by the streamers.
Distribution and exhibition. Let me give you reach of domestic films in cinemas and streaming platforms, presence of local film festivals, as well as quality and number of theaters, multiplexes, and distribution networks. That is what Damola is about to create, the pillar of industry right now.
So since they have removed this one, I'm going to give a 3.95.
Why a 3.99?
Sorry, 3.99. Sorry.
Why a 3.99?
4. This is, you did not give me, there's no 4 or 5 to pick.
Right.
3.99 is the highest I can give.
Right.
And I would explain why.
Go for it.
We're not we have what, 200 odd screens.
210 last time I checked.
210, right? And one of the biggest challenges you have in this country is the issue of power, right? And in spite of that, we still have 200 odd screens that in December a movie can still do billion.
There's a conversation of how do we would we rather be an industry of 1 billion 1 year, or rather be an industry of 250 to 500 6 to 7 times in a year?
But check it, this year alone, Real Love did what, 300 and something million. Ori just did another whatever. Iyalode did another 300. What you're asking for, you are getting.
But this is like,
and December hasn't come up.
That's what I'm even saying. So again, right, is that enough?
Oga, you said that you want a situation where it's not one movie doing 1 billion and nobody's doing that. And we just listed 3 movies that have done about 300, and we're just in July. So if you have 3 to 4 movies that have done 300, guy, we're already at 1 billion already.
I don't want to start doing analytics right now, but I get your point. We'll be fine. Final grading point is regulatory and institutional support, where government policy towards the industry, existence of film commissions and development boards, as well as protection of IP and freedom of expression. How would you grade interest into that?
I'm split like down the middle.
3. Why 3?
I feel like there could be more done. Protection of intellectual property. We've been pirating things since I was a sperm cell.
Wow.
And it's still pretty much the same thing. People on YouTube are fighting. People are carrying their movies, taking it to other countries, showing it in here without licensing anything. Or I feel like there could be stronger laws to sort of curb that in a way. Also, freedom of expression. Come for me for this. But like the authenticity of telling stories sometimes is curbed by certain regulations. You are not allowed to do this. Yes, you're not allowed to do that. And the authenticity of telling those stories. The authenticity of telling those stories, curbed. I love you guys' sense of board.
Interesting. It's 2. Why would you say it's 2?
I'll pick it. 1 is, I wish pretty much like the way, so that it's not as if I'm an industry fanboy, but the co-production, the tax treaties
Yeah.
The tax treaties that a lot of other countries enjoy. South Africa enjoys a tax treaty, which is why movies like a lot of movies get shot there.
Yes. And local state boards, access to
Yes.
incentives.
Yes. Kenya has the same thing.
Oh,
Morocco has the same thing.
Right.
Egypt has as well.
Right.
And places like the US and Canada and even Europe always try to use those kind of things to reduce their budget. Right? We don't have that, so it makes it extremely difficult for any of the international platforms. We need players to just come and shoot here. And then it's one of those things where that is a clear area where there can be knowledge share, where the government can afford to say, you know what, you don't pay tax to us. We know that we're going to tax these individuals eventually, so we'll get that money somehow.
Yes.
But at least that money comes into the system and moves around the system and helps the system. So yes, I know that there's a problem in that area. IP, Nigerians, you people need to stop pirating. As in, it's a challenge generally. We need to come together, and I think as a whole, I think the industry, we need to come together for that one, to basically sensitize everybody to how it affects us. If you say that you love these actors, you love these people, and you want them to continue to do what they do, please let them eat from the work of their hands. Do not pirate. Because you're basically taking food out of people's mouths. And if that movie does not bring the desired return, the possibility of me doing the next one is going to become harder. So it then becomes a problem for everybody, because now there are not going to be enough movies, which means the industry pretty much dies.
Awesome. Damola Ademola of Inkblot and Cover. Thank you so much for joining us today, as well as Michael Ejoor, actor, newly established and writing director. Thank you so much. And on that note, we end this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share with your industry friends, and don't forget to follow us on social media and Shock Africa. We'll catch you guys.